Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the July 13th, August 13th, 2024 BOCC meeting. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We got to work on this unison thing here.
That's why I looked down and I read, and I'm like, that's not right. So we have a little bit of a typo. This is not July 13th. This is August 13th. We are very aware of that. We are moving forward with this. So, again, welcome everybody. And we first thing on our agenda are our minutes. Gentlemen, do we have any additions or corrections?
No.
Okay.
I move to approve the proceedings of the Board of County Commissioners for Montezuma County from August 6, 2024 as presented.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, August 6th, not July 6th, 2024. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next up is planning. And it looks like we only have a Mylar to sign for David Kimble and Falena Hunter. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, and this is for a 2-lot moderate subdivision, so roll them out.
We got it.
Do you have a public comment? We will have a public comment, so your clock.
That's pretty much everything we got.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sending out a few letters. People are adding tiny houses to their property at random, so.
Imagine that.
Never gonna end.
Is that just as an ADU, or is that just?
They have a house, a rental house, and now they put 3 tiny houses on there,
Oh. So it's way over the one ADU.
but are known as a compound. Correct.
Okay. All right.
New
Very
buyers
good.
Sounds
don't,
like a village to me.
yeah, new buyers don't pay attention or don't want to know, so. We'll see.
All right. Thank you, Don.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, guys. Okay, next up is our public comment session. The Board of Montezuma County Commissioners welcomes you to this meeting. Person speaking during public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all the members of the public the opportunity to address the board. When addressing the board, please state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments. And comments to individual supervisors or staff are not permitted, and participants may not yield their time to others. And with that, the public comment session is open.
Good morning, everyone. My
Good
name is
morning.
Alan Mays, 21693 County Road 21 in Lewis. I was asked to go ahead and bring this reminder up. School started yesterday, and so just know that kids will be out waiting for the bus. And during the morning and afternoon, be very careful. And along with that, accidents are preventable, so just drive safely around buses, things like that. So I was asked to give that reminder, and I think it's a good one. We all have to keep that in mind. We've got busy lives, and everybody seems to be in a hurry. County Road 491 has too many trucks on it. Not that that's a bad thing, because that means commerce is moving, but it is something that we noticed out there. Traffic has increased in our county. I do want to make a comment on a couple of things. I asked about HD 58, I guess, before the meeting, as far as things going. Every vote counts. That's what we learned by HD 58. 3 votes made the difference in that House race. Now it goes to the general election. And everybody needs to know that we do have to get out and vote. Every year, every election year, we hear the same story. This is the most important election now, but no, this one is. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go to a meeting this evening. It is to learn a little bit more about who is running for office, and I think that's something that all of us need to be doing, become more aware. You're not going to be able to exercise your right to help our government change unless you take advantage of it. Reminds me of the story of Dolores County, 376 ballots that weren't delivered to voters. They didn't get their chance unless they realized that they could go in and vote in person. But that is something that only if you stay aware do you know these things. And so we need to get that information out as best we can, and that's why I'm here today, is just knowing that everybody that is able to vote and understand what's going on needs to get out there and do that. So thank you very much for your time, and keep up the good work. I know this time is a busy time. Budgets are being discussed for the county, and that's very important to the public out there. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Next. Okay. Well, seeing no further public comment, we'll close the public comment session of this meeting, and we will move right on into unfinished business. We have, first on the agenda here is a discussion on possible signing of a resolution reinstating a fire ban. This was also presented in Dolores last night. So, gentlemen, what's your thought?
Well, I'm sure that the sheriff had met with the chiefs before we received all this moisture. And I would like us to postpone this decision for at least 2 weeks to see what happens.
And I think that's actually prudent also myself. I think with the amount of moisture, I think, that's the first question I asked the sheriff yesterday, how much moisture we had in the last 5 days. And I think maybe somebody out there in the public could probably answer that for me, how much moisture we've had in the last 5 days. But I don't see postponing it for a couple weeks. Let's see what it does. And we could always put it on the agenda any time. So it has been presented. We can take it up at that point in time. But I agree with you, Commissioner, that 2 weeks right now doesn't hurt anything.
Gerald, your thoughts?
Well, I think these, instead of the thunderstorms we had been getting, these rains were widespread, and it pretty much got everybody. So it pretty much made the whole moisture for the whole county, not just certain areas. So I agree. I mean, personally, I think it's not necessary right now.
Right.
If it starts drying out again, we can put it back on the table and do it. But I think as long as we're getting this moisture like it has been coming, and according to the report we had at Southwest the other day, we're supposed to be in this wet cycle for a while here, so we should continue to get some moisture every few days. So I agree. Personally, I think we should postpone it for a while. I don't think it's really necessary right now.
Okay. Well, then we will not sign that now. If it looks like it's drying out, we'll put it back on our agenda, and we can go go with it from there. Dolores also turned it down last night too, just for everybody's knowledge. They did not vote on it. So we're going right past that. Next, we have HVAC replacement for Annex 3. Yesterday in our workshop, Dustin Sattler came forth with several different quotes. His recommendation, due to the cost and availability, was to Win Air out of Grand Junction again. This is for the purchase of the unit itself, and then he's going to have approximately another $1,000 in it for installation because they're able to keep the same curb and not have to replace that. So with that, Travis, if you have the others just to scroll through just so they can see the costs on the others. His recommendation was Win Air.
Yeah, it is. I would so move we award the contract for NX3, unit number 5, to Win Air in the amount of $15,333.88.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept and award the replacement HVAC unit to Win Air for Annex number 3, unit number 5, in the amount of $15,333.88. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and then Travis, I'll turn this over to you. This was also presented in our workshop yesterday as a supplemental budget request, and take it away.
So, gentlemen, I'm requesting a supplemental budget request. This was ran in the newspaper for a week for people to present arguments for or against. We have received nothing. And it's going to be in the amount of $161,038. This is because of 2 retirements that we have received that we did not foresee when we was doing the budgets. And this funding is needed so that we can train those 2 people to take over when those retirements take place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question?
I move to approve this resolution 10, 2024, a resolution appropriated additional sums of money to defray expenses in excess of the amounts budgeted for the Montezuma County Administrative Offices in the amount of the $60,084.
161.
Yes, the total would be $161,038,
Oh, okay.
additional of $18,038.
Yeah, the total would be $161,038.29.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept resolution number 10, 2024, a resolution appropriating additional sums of money to defray expenses in excess of amounts budgeted for Montezuma County administrative offices. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, Travis, while you're up, you have another one under your report, so just go ahead for the disbursements.
So this is just the disbursements from the treasurer's office, start date of January 24, ending of 6/30/24. Total ending balance of 46 million. Yeah, total balance of 46,162,179.83.
I would so move we accept the schedule of receipts and disbursements in the amount of $46,162,179.83.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the schedule of receipts and disbursements for Montezuma County in the amount of $46,162,179.83. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Ian. This is gonna be a record-setting time again today.
Yeah, I'll try not to mess this up here. So, last Thursday, we had a case management conference for our Leaf Properties case. At that case management conference, we discussed a couple things. We discussed briefing schedules. We also discussed a motion that I filed, trying to separate the issues in the case. As you'll recall, there's a threshold issue as to the validity and enforceability of our land use code. And then there's the issue of whether this board was proper in its review of Leaf Properties' high-impact permit application. My hope was to get those two issues separated, and I filed a motion asking the court to do that. My reasoning for that was, in essence, by taking up the first issue first. I mean, obviously, if that issue were to resolve that the land use code is unenforceable, then a lot of time and money would be saved because the second issue wouldn't have to be addressed. The court rejected my argument and decided to hear the issues simultaneously. And so we are set to do that. The briefing schedule, opening briefs will be due October 25th. So we've got some time before that happens. There'll be some discovery requests exchanged in the meantime. Then we'll have reply briefs due in early September, or early December, and then we'll have a one-day trial set out to June 27th. I'm not sure that this case is actually going to require a trial. I don't anticipate that evidence is going to be taken. This is more going to be decided on the briefs and the record from the proceedings that came in front of the board. We did set that trial date just in case it's necessary, but at this point, my guess would be that those briefs will be finished up in December, and then the court will render a decision sometime after that. And then, obviously after that, who knows how much longer the case will go on, depending on appeals and whatnot. But that's where we're at with that. I got a decision back from the state in the unemployment claim that we appealed back a couple weeks ago. Really disappointed in that decision. In essence, what had happened is there was an employee who had forged client signatures on paperwork and was terminated because of that and applied for unemployment benefits, and the state awarded those benefits. It's inexplicable as far as I'm concerned. The law is pretty clear that if you violate a policy and that violation of the policy can create significant damage to an employer's interests, that employee is not eligible for unemployment benefits at the point of termination. I think that's what we had here. It was one of the more frustrating hearings I've ever been a part of. It went for over an hour, and it seemed like from the very get-go, the hearing officer had his mind made up and was convinced that he was going to get where he wanted to go. So we have appealed that to the next level. We're going to keep fighting that. I mean, obviously, it's not a huge monetary case for the county, but there's a principle involved, and I can just say that my frustration level was high. Just very disappointing that unemployment is just given out without any question. I think that's where we're at in this country and in this state. So we'll keep running up the chain and see where we end up. Other than that, I did have an opportunity. I got an email from Commissioner Candelaria regarding Housing Authority and the board appointments to that Housing Authority. We've had several members of that board, 3 to be exact, that have served for a number of years beyond what they should have. The statute's pretty clear that terms on that Housing Authority board are to be 5 years, and I think we've had one board member serving since the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. So
87.
So we got to get that cleaned up, and we can certainly do that. And so we'll start to work with. I'll work with Travis, and we'll get applications solicited and start moving forward with that. Other than that, I'm going to be out next week. I'm going on vacation, and so
I'll take your place.
our assistant county attorney is going to be here, Steve. So give him a hard time. Don't be too nice to him. Yeah, give him some tough legal questions, keep him on his toes, and so he'll
So
be.
in other words, next week, all right.
Yeah, make it a tough one. So no, and I'll obviously be available to answer questions, and I'll help him get prepped for that meeting as well. So
You're not going to Las Vegas, are you?
no, I'm going to the Oregon coast.
Oh.
So I'm going to the Oregon coast.
Okay,
So
all right.
that'll be good. So
That's
yeah,
what I was thinking too.
yeah. So all
All
right,
right.
that's all I've got. You guys better get to yours.
Thank you, Ian. All right, Commissioner Copenhaver.
This past week, on Wednesday and Thursday, I spent over in Pagosa with the Southwest Water Conservation District Board. We went through some different challenges that they're facing over there as far as their water supply and the different things they've tried to do as far as fixing a reservoir to supply water to that whole area there, Pagosa, and some of those subdivisions that were built around there. Some of the different challenges they've had and are facing as far as developing any type of water system there. It was interesting to see how long, because part of this started back when I was on the round table, back when I was serving on the commissioner before. They bought some property over there and were going to develop a reservoir just north and east of Pagosa right there. And that is still going on to this day, so it's, I don't know whether somebody is just not willing to carry it forward and actually get all the stuff done they need to do, but they changed the size of the reservoir tremendously down to a smaller size. Different things have happened, and it was interesting to see what else was going on there, but we did that mostly on Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, we actually had a meeting Thursday morning there in Pagosa, discussing mostly about water issues about the whole Southwest and what's going on with the Colorado River. Negotiations that are going on for the guidelines in the future, so there's nothing that's really been decided about those yet, final, but they're working on them still. When they can agree on something, because the upper basin states and the lower basin states are pretty far apart on their different proposals, so we'll see what comes out of it. Other than that, I was busy all weekend, had a lot of company, and had 6 different Marines at my house and their families. I think there was up to 20 kids there at one time. So it was a very interesting weekend and very busy. We actually climbed up on Hesper's Peak on Saturday and actually didn't get rained on bad or anything. It was kind of surprising, but it sure was slick. So that's all I got.
All right, very good. Travis, I know you had to do the disbursements, but I'll give it back to you too if you have anything else that you'd like to report.
Just a couple things. It was a really busy week, but it was all administrative functions. We did restructure the senior center, and that's going to fall under the Department of Social Services. A lot of discussions this last week over budget, and I want to kind of present what Leslie presented yesterday. And it was an unexpected amount of lost revenue of almost $800,000. And that doesn't include the potential of an additional $400,000 just anticipated loss if the special session goes into place, in addition to Proposition 108 and Initiative 50. So we're going to have to start really looking at the budget again this week, basically quasi starting over.
You know, I look at the big significant one, and I obviously had these questions yesterday. That's almost $81,000 or $81 million of a reduction just in oil and gas. You know, you hear us all talk about how much oil and gas feeds this community. Well, that's a significant cut. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's a $800,000 a little over $800,000 to the county general fund at the 10.838 mil, that now we have even less revenue. So just to point that out and put that out there for everybody between 23 and 24 for the assessed values. It makes it tough when you're trying to create a budget, but anyway. Anything else?
That's it, sir.
All right, thank you. For me, let's see. So last week, we actually were talking about the budget all day on Thursday. We spent in here with the budget committee pretty much most of the day to go over issues that we're looking and dealing with for that, and it looks like we're going to continue with that going on. I did go to a PSST presentation along with Commissioner Lindsay on Saturday out at the community center at Louis Areola. Went well, but not very well attended. And I realized there were a lot of other things going on. We had Escalante days, the weather was pretty soggy, and that seems to hold people inside. We had our workshop yesterday with all of our department reports. We had assessor, treasurer, district attorney, our grant writer. We were able to meet our new VSO. She's been on board now for a week, Ashley Garrett, along with Rick Torres. Got to talk to our extension agent, Emily, who gave us a great report on the fair and the goings on out there, and it seems like everything went very well. We did talk about our HVAC replacements that we've taken care of today and our supplemental budget requests that we've taken care of today. Attended the Dolores meeting last night. It was pretty benign. They are going to start their budget process and see where they're going to go with that. And that is all that I have.
Yes, I don't have too much. You mentioned the PSST meeting Saturday. To go off what Alan said, just another reminder that kids are back in school. Might not be a bad idea to watch your health, because every time those kids mingle, about 10 days later, people start getting sick. So the disinfectant spray might come out, so we'll see. Also, quick note, I've got to go to city council tonight, and there's some construction happening on 491 between Lebanon Road and the Maverick out there, so be careful. And that's about all I have.
All right. Well, then we have come to the end of our meeting, except for Kim. Do you have anything that you would like to? Okay.
Kim, you mentioned the ballots are going to drop.
So, yeah, the November ballot should drop into the mail the week of October 14th.
Okay. So if you haven't received your ballot by, what, the 22nd, 23rd, get down to the clerk's office and find out where your ballot is. Motion to adjourn.
All right.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn this August 13th, 2024 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.